Shaj Haque and Still. It was a split decision in the end. Just want to know what your thoughts on the scorecards.
Definitely, I didn't think it was a split. He did do well, as in he did win a round. I'd definitely say he won that last round. I don't feel like I lost another round in between, but it's one of those fights. I always say sometimes guys can't see the shots that I land on my back foot, and it does take some good judges who understand striking to kind of see some of that. He was walking forward, same thing that happens when the guys are bigger than me, but I was landing the shots. Had I one jab that caught me, I can't remember which one, second or third round, which I felt, and it was just kind of the weird part of the glove I think hit, because I didn't even realise it hit me properly, and then I just had a little cut, and that was pretty much the main damage I took in the whole fight really. And ring rust is real, as much as I like to say it isn't. I knew going into this fight that was his advantage, and it went exactly how I thought it would go, as in he'd come hungry, he'd have the skill set to kind of put pressure on, but I knew my experience, I've been through this before, so I knew how I was going into this fight, and I knew the advantage he had, and I got it out of the way. I kind of needed this fight, had a lot of things happening in the camp, as it does, but championship mindset, and it was my mindset and experience that kind of got me through, and Still.
And talk to us about the ring rust. You know, it's been really frustrating for you the last 2 years. I know it's not been your fault either. Can you just talk us through what it's been like mentally for you?
Yeah, that's it. I've got a few conditions that I need to get looked at, but I didn't want to stall any longer. You know, this sport moves on fast, and I need to get back in there. Couldn't let it go any longer. Obviously, last year, had a few complications, so went a little bit longer than I thought. But it does happen when you don't fight for a while. There's a little bit of feeling of like how it's like in the cage and things like that. You do kind of get a bit rusty. You make small little errors that you normally wouldn't. Your instincts and things like that. But really, in all truth, what got me the winners? I've got Dad's strength level 2. Sakil, love you, boy.
You talked to us about that. You mentioned after the fight that you might have a little injury that you were carrying into the fight, or was that something occurred in the fight?
I mean, you've asked us. I kind of don't like to use excuses. He did well, but literally, you can ask my corners and things. It was even just after the weigh-ins. You know, you heard like guys like Saryukin who was like, he did something to his back after the weigh-ins and stuff. I kind of thought that I've overcame this injury, and literally after the weight cut and things last night, I had this weird pain, and I was like, I can't if I can pull out now. Like, it's been too long. I was like, there's no way. Nothing's going to make me pull out of this fight. Had to be cautious with my warm-up. I kind of knew that. Honestly, why I think I fatigued a lot quicker. It wasn't that I was hurt. It wasn't that I was physically gassed. I just lost the strength in my back and my legs a bit, which is why it's my legs that are just feeling a bit weird, and I know I'm going to have a really bad back tomorrow. But other than that, I'm not actually hurt. It's just the way it is with that kind of injuries. The risk that you take, it's a part of the fight game. You're never going to go 100%. But I don't want to really take anything away from him. He's good. But it's pretty unfair on these younger guys, because they're obviously trying to get the UFC. They're young fighters, and they having to beat someone like me who should be in the UFC, and it's kind of unfair. They find someone of UFC level. He should get a lot of confidence. He did do well that fight, but I really believe no matter how many times I fight, I will come out on top in these fights. I've just got too much experience in that way. I knew what was happening in that fight, and that was a part of the tactic. He nearly pulled it through as I started slipping a little bit near the end, but like I say, it's unfair on these younger lads. They're having to fight someone of like a UFC level, and I'm having to stop them in their dreams, which it sucks. I don't really want to. He's a nice lad. He's been doing well, and he could have fought anybody else, and he probably would have got a UFC shot. But unfortunately, he had to fight someone like me, and now he's got a loss.
And you mentioned UFC there. Do you think that is what's next for you, or maybe Contender Series, or potentially Cage Wars Newcastle later in the year?
It should be, but whatever fight politics there is, UFC, it's not all about. They're not really always looking for the best fighters. They're looking for certain other characteristics, and maybe I don't trash talk enough. Maybe I don't do certain things. Whatever. I don't know. I just fight the best that I can fight. It sucks. It's a part of the fight game, but I'm just there. I enjoy the sport. I'm going to keep doing it. Well, I've still got that fire, and I'm enjoying it. And I just take each fight as it comes. You know, I'm going to be hungry every single time.
Congratulations, and thank you again once again for your time.
Just want to say a shout out to my sponsors. With all those guys, you know, this is a financial stress in this fight. Until you're in the big shows and certain places, you don't. It's not really a financial gain. You know, I run a gym, and I've got to take a lot of time off. I've got to let a lot of my amateur fighters and things down a little bit in the coaching side when I'm fighting like this. But I love the sport. And I'd like to give that shout out to my sponsors: Really Physio, Full Well Properties, Eat the Damn Cake. I'm going to go there tomorrow, get some cake. Hard Life makes these lovely fight walkout t-shirts. Chrome Residential, again, financing some of my training. And hope I haven't missed anyone there. Oxy Plus, the oxygen chamber. These things are incredible recovery, and like I was saying, really physio. Without these guys, I don't think I would have gone through a lot of the injuries that I had. So thank you very much, everyone that sponsors me, everyone that supports me, all the guys that travelled all the way to London to support me. You know, he might have had a loud crowd, but I knew you guys were there. I could see us between the rounds. And my training partners, Spice Lounge. Yeah, these guys have supported me for a long time. Some of the best curries in the northeast. But yeah, like guys like my nephew there, upcoming pro fighters, and these guys help me get ready. You know, I've got some of the best training partners, my coaches, my brother Sham, Jordan Cooper, phenomenal jiu-jitsu coach, and all the guys that I train with at Ace MMA. You know, I'm a coach as well, and I'm here to make future champions as well as trying to become a UFC fighter myself. But thank you very much again for giving me the opportunity, Cage Warriors. You know, and still, actually, one of the things, you know, first Bangladeshi champion. You know, I did it again for those guys. I hope there's more guys from my background, right, that really believe in themselves, because I know in the culture a lot of guys think that we can't be fighters at the top end of the world, but trust me, we can. Some of my, you know, nephews and that, Shawan and things coming pro, these guys are going to show you, and I hope it inspires more of you guys to, you know, take a chance in the sport. You can do better than you think. But other than that, thank you. I'm probably talking too much.
That's cool.